Hello students, today we're going to look at the formulas for finding the surface area of prisms. In class we've just been taking a net and finding the area of each part of the net and adding it together. But there's a formula that you can use as well to find the surface area and the lateral surface area of the rectangular prisms. So I have two prisms, one rectangular, one triangular. What I'd like for you to do is to draw a line down the center of your page. We're going to do rectangular on the left and triangular on the right. The cool thing is the formula is the same. There's a little few adjustments to it, but hopefully putting the left and the right will help us keep them all together. Okay? So I have a rectangular prism. I have 2 inches by 3 inches by 5 inches. And the formula to find the surface area equals capital PH plus 2 times capital B. Now capital P may be new to you, and that is perimeter of the base. Capital B is still area of the base. So to find the perimeter of the base, for a rectangular prism, I look at what's sitting on the table. So basically this little bottom part is sitting on the table. So to find the perimeter of that, I do 2 plus 3 and then multiply that by 2 because 2 and 2 and 3 and 3. So we're going to say the perimeter is 10 times the height of the entire prism, which is 5. So I found the perimeter of the base, just like this, and then multiplied it by 5, which is my height of the prism. And now I'm going to add that to 2 times the area of the base. Now you remember to find the area of the base, you multiply length times width, which is 3 times 2 is 6. And then 10 times 5 is 50 plus 12. So the surface area equals 62 square inches. Now very quickly, I'm going to just kind of walk you through how did I really get that. Well, the dimensions of this rectangle is 2 times 5, which is 10. This one is 3 times 5, which is 15. I've got 2 of those and 2 of those. And the dimension of this rectangle up here is 6, and I've got 2 of those. So 10 plus 15 is 25, plus 6 is 31, and 31 times 2 is 62 also. So the formula gets me to exactly the same place as just adding up each of the areas by themselves. Now let's look at the triangular prism and let's talk about finding the difference there. It's still the same formula. Surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. So the perimeter of the base in this case is the base is a triangle. With a triangular prism, you always have to assume that a triangle is the base. That's because of the name. So the triangle may not be sitting on the table, but the triangle is always going to be the base for a triangular prism. So I've got to find the perimeter of the base, which is a triangle. So I add up all 3 sides of that triangle, and I have 6 plus 5 plus 5, which is 16. And then I multiply that by the height of the prism, not the height of the triangle, the height of the entire prism, which is 12.5. And then I add 2 times the area of the base. Here's where it gets tricky, because you've got to know that the formula for area of a base is 1/2 times base times height. So I'm going to do 2 times 1/2 times the base of the triangle, which is 6, times the height of the triangle, which is 4. And again, that's just of the triangle. This only deals with one triangle. And so I use my calculator, and I do 16 times 12.5 plus 2 times 1/2 times 6 times 4. Well, I know this. 2 times 1/2 is 1, times 6 is 6 times 4 is 24. And 16 times 12.5 is, let me grab the calculator. I'm back. and we have 16 times 12.5 is 200. So the surface area of this triangular prism is 224 inches squared. Now, let's look at this again and figure out if I added all the sides together, would I get the same thing? Well, the dimension of this rectangle is 12.5 times 5, and 12.5 times 5 is 62.5. So I've got 62.5 plus 62.5 because the other one on the other side is exactly the same. And then I'm going to do the dimensions of the bottom rectangle, which is 6 times 12.5. And that's 75, plus the area of the triangle, which we figured out was 24, plus 24, because there's a triangle on one end and on the other end. And if I add all those up, I'm also going to get 224 as my surface area for the triangular prism. Now that is a lot of information for one day, but we're going to go over it in class a little bit more. And I'm going to do 2 more sample problems in just a second. Now I have 2 more examples for you. A rectangular prism with dimensions 9.2, 5.8, and 7.3. So I'm going to write my formula down again. Surface area equals perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. So let's figure out the perimeter of the base first. So my base is 9.2 by 5.8. So I'm going to do 9.2 plus 9.2 plus 5.8 plus 5.8, and I get 30 as the perimeter of that base. And I'm going to multiply that by the height, which is 7.3. And then I'm going to take 2 times the area of the base, which is 9.2 times 5.8, and that is 53.36. And then I plug it into my calculator, 53.36, or sorry, 30.73. That's wrong. 30 times 7.3 plus 2 times 53.36, and I get 325.72 as the surface area, and that's going to be inches squared for the rectangular prism. Again, the perimeter of the base was 30, multiply it by the height, and then 2 times the area of the base, which is 9.2 times 5.8. So let's look at the triangular prism. Something that you need to know about the triangular prism is the height of a triangle is always formed at a right angle. Sometimes the height of the triangle goes down the center of the triangle, but sometimes the right angle is the legs, and so this would be the height and the base of the right angle, and so the height and the base are formed at that right angle. So this would be the height of the triangle, and 3 would be the base of the triangle. So my formula is the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base. So I'm going to write this one out because this one can get confusing. So before I plug any numbers, I'm going to do side plus side plus side times the height, because triangles have 3 sides, plus 2 times 1/2 lowercase b h, because this is only about the triangle. So my side plus side plus side would be 3 plus 4 plus 5 times 10, which is the height of the prism, plus 2 times 1/2 times the base of the triangle, which is 3, times the height of the triangle, which is 4. And I'm just going to plug all of that into my calculator just like it is. So I do parentheses 3 plus 4 plus 5, close parentheses, times 10, plus 2 times 1/2 times 3 times 4, hit enter, and I get 132 inches squared for the surface area of the rectangular prism. Sorry, that's the surface area of the triangular prism that we have. Here are your practice problems for tonight. The first rectangular prism has dimensions of 3, 5, and 2. And then your triangular prism has dimensions of 6, 8, 10 for the triangle, and 15 for the height of the prism. Remember, on a triangle, capital P stands for perimeter of the triangle. Capital B stands for area of the triangle. Please complete these using the formula. Take a picture of your answer, actually your picture of the entire problem, and submit it through Edmodo using the turn-in button.